Hey guys, this is TK2 and this is a 50.2015 scenario. It is Recon and we have the fancy objectives. So my opponent is, I'm playing Coven, and my opponent is playing pSkarre. So it's going to be an interesting list, or an interesting matchup, but for the objectives, the fancy ones, I took the one where you get -1 cost to your spells once per turn for models within 4 inches of it. And then I think, sadly, I think they might errata it so the Witch Coven can only take advantage of it once. But right now, while it's still, I can still take advantage of it with each of the models. That means I can, if I'm in perfect conjunction and within 4 inches of the objective, Infernal Machine is free, Occultation is free, Veil of Mist is 1, Curse of Shadows is 1. It's just, I don't know. I think it just sounds great. And then my opponent, he took the Effigy of Valor. He doesn't have any statistics, and he said he took it for some reason, but I forget exactly what that reason was. So I don't really think it came into play with him too much. He actually would have been better off taking my objective. Actually, no, he wouldn't. He doesn't have any upkeeps. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Talking to myself. Moving on. So, deployment. I have my pretty standard Witch Coven list, which is Bane Riders, Chicken, Biles, Kraken, Gorman, Witch Coven. The third witch is right here. She already moved up. She was getting a little antsy. Blood Witches with the Hag, another Chicken, and a Warwitch Siren. He has Death Ripper, Max Banes with UA, Nightmare, Max Mechana Thralls, Stitch Thralls, Bane Knights, Tartarus, Skarlock, and a Raider Captain. And then also, where is it? Oh, here it is. Warwitch Siren. She looks like a Bane Knight, but that's a Warwitch Siren. So, what he really likes to do is, before he got the Mechana Thralls, he found that his Bane Knights were being shot off the table all the time. He also played against like a lot of Signar and stuff. So he got his Mechana Thralls so that they would get shot off the table instead. So let's go ahead and start this. So my first turn, I'm going to cycle Infernal Machine through all my guys and run them up real far and get into sort of an okay position. I kind of want to be around the new objective because of the spells that I can take advantage of. And so I just run up. Well, I walk forward with a witch, put Infernal Machine on something, walk forward with the witch, put her Infernal Machine on the other thing, walk forward with the last witch, put Infernal Machine on the Kraken, so that next turn I can upkeep it on the Kraken if I want. And then I just get fancy and put down a Veil of Mist that, I mean, I had 3 focus. I didn't know what to do, so I a Veil of Mist. So everything just runs up. The Kraken can run really fast with Infernal Machine. I kind of put my Bane Knights and Bane Riders in a bad spot because of the Forest. Too bad they don't have like Phantom Hunter or something. That'd be awesome, but they're kind of in a bad spot. He runs forward. Same thing, really. There goes his Mechana Thralls in the front. He gets 3 focus next turn, I think. You can see his. He'll put the die on the little Crix marker, and that's how much he'll get next turn. In case I forget to mention it. But that is his turn. So what I'm looking to do is, big thing. He feeded. He was worried about him getting shot off the table, so he feeded, or not really shot, just like alpha'd. So he feeded because he figured Armor 18 Bane Riders is nothing to Weapon Master Bane Thralls. A Kraken doesn't really matter too much if you can get enough Banes on it. I have Armor 13 Blood Witches. The Coven is Armor 12, so he might as well just feed now so that I don't completely alpha him. So what I'm looking to do is, I notice that he has all of his Mechana Thralls right here. That's all 10 of them. He forgot to put one in reserve. Actually, now that I'm counting, he only has 9. He only has 9 because he sacrificed one of them. So that's all his Mechanothralls. So they are under feet, and I want to see if I can't take them all out, but I don't want to sacrifice too much to it. Like, what I could do is I could just have my raiders or my blood witches bum rush in there and kill a whole bunch, and then they could go incorporeal, but then he can bring them back. So I want to look to take them all out this turn, and then you'll notice that there is a nice line right here between our two forces. So what I want to do is I want to preserve that, because I can take out his Mechanothralls, hopefully at range. I do have a Kraken, and then feat with the Coven, and then it's a trade. So I trade his feat and a unit of Mechanothralls for hopefully nothing. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay. So here we go. Yep. So what I'm going to do... Oh, okay. The Raider Captain goes to prevent knockdowns. Not that I have too many knockdowns. Okay, so Kraken gets 3 because that's always a good idea, and he needs to shoot some stuff. I don't upkeep anything. And then I do believe I keep the rest. Okay, so the first thing I do, I believe, is I Curse of Shadows the Mechanothralls. Now I do this so that it knocks down their armor, but then also because I figure if I don't do what I'm hoping to do with killing them all, what's he going to do? He's going to be under my feet, and he's going to bring back 3 of them with these guys, and then what's he going to do? He's just going to bum rush my guys. So I'm going to be screened with Mechanothralls, and then the Bane Knights are going to be up, and it's the Bane Thralls are going to be up, and they're going to be all in my face, and there's going to be these annoying Mechanothralls. So I figure push comes to shove, Curse of Shadows, upkeep. Next turn I can just walk through them and like ignore them, and then it's still okay if I don't kill them all, and then it also helps with the armor +5 now only being armor +3. Okay, so then the ball moves up, so he's in a good feet position. And then I do believe I start off with my Kraken, who just, he starts with my Kraken, he aims, and he starts shooting. And my Kraken, he rolls 3 shots, by the way. My Kraken is a boss, and I do believe takes off 3 with just his normal little BB guns, and then kabooms the guy in the back, hits 5 Mechanothralls, a Stitch Thrall, and takes out like 3 of them. It was great. And then there's a nice little line for them, and the Warwick Siren's like do shabam, 3 Mechanothralls, dead with that. I figured I'm okay with corrosion. And then there's this one Mechanothrall left, and I'm like, I don't know how to kill that Mechanothrall. Oh wait, yeah I do. It's called Blood Witches. So I just put 2 guys up there to almost guarantee the hit, and they're going to die next turn, but I figure 2 Blood Witches for a unit of Mechanothralls is okay. So now sadly I can't upkeep Curse of Shadows next turn because it's not on anyone. Move the chicken back. I should be really super aggressive with my riders, but I'm not. What I should do is I should just also to point out, my feet covers, or I haven't feated yet, but it covers like here. Well, okay, it doesn't go that far. It seems like it goes that far over in here, but I think it comes up to like here about. So they are, I always think of it that, you know, you got to be inside the feet for them to be kind of, like it's like it's a shroud of darkness. So if you're inside the feet looking out, you should be able to see them, but that's not the case. They're just line of sight reduced by 5. So what I should have done is I should just run my horses all the way over here, because like a good chunk of these guys couldn't even see them, even though it's like they're in the nighttime looking out. They're still affected by the night. It's like a nightmare just as a daydream or something like that. It's just great. So I don't end up doing that. I just kind of, then I waddle everyone into position. The Bile Thralls, they walk up. They're outside of the Bane Thrall walking range because I figured they're going to want to run up, so Bile Thralls with Veil of Mist can walk through the guys that run up and then pop. So they're getting ready for next turn. See, there's my control range. So then the Bane Riders go, they want to swing over, but they can't get there because they're not that fast, sadly. One witch runs up, last witch feats, then it's his turn. So one of the ways to get around the Witch Coven's feat with not being able, with you not being able to tell who's in and who's not if you're playing against it, is you can check your line of sight at any time. So you can simply tell your opponent, okay, I'm checking my line of sight for all my guys. And he has to measure because your line of sight's reduced. So normally you can see it, but if you want to see something far away, you have to know if it's in, you can check your line of sight. So essentially, when you're playing against the Coven, you can auto check to see who's in the feat. It's not like one of those things with Edenia and you're planning it beforehand, and they walk up, they don't pop their Edenia pops her feet but doesn't measure her control, so she has to make you guess whether or not a unit or some models can't move. And so then you're thinking about that, and then you kind of have to guess. No, with the Coven, you just know, because you just tell your opponent, I'm checking my line of sight to everyone, and then he has to measure. But I mean, it's a stupid good feat. So the fact that they know which one of their models are stuck in the nightmarish darkness is, I don't know, it's just an added benefit. Okay, so he walks up, he power boosts the raider, or the chicken. Chicken's going to run, and he's going to try and, I wasn't really sure what he's doing. Oh, yeah. Skarre put backlash on the Kraken. That's important. And then she also blood rained. So, yeah. Right now we're just debating whether or not per each point of backlash, each one of the members of the Coven take a point because they're all technically controlling him, but it's ruled that the Coven are a single warcaster, all three of them. So they would only take 1 point from backlash. So then he corrodes some guys. He corrodes some more guys with 2 blood rains. Fun fact, my opponent never cast Dark Guidance this game, and instead always cast all of his offensive spells. It was a very weird pSkarre game. Okay, so he goes around, he heals up all but 1 point. He rolls 5 for next turn, and Tartarus walks up, kills 2 witches, makes 2 more guys, and then everyone just proceeds to jam. These 2, I should mention this guy right here and this guy right here, they're Mechanithralls, but they're really Bane Knights, and he just ran through my lines. And if you would notice, there is Bane Knight uncomfortably close to my caster, especially with this Bane Thrall right here. So that's a problem, so I need to fix that. Then when I'm thinking this turn, what I can do is I can go ahead and Curse of Shadows the Bane Knights, which would be funny, and then hopefully wipe them with my Blood Witches, because my Blood Witches can charge through them, get to the back guys. Kraken maybe can shoot a couple, and then we'll go from there. Right up here, there is a Bane Thrall right here, engaging my Bile Thrall right here. And what I want to do is I want to put a Veil of Mists here, and then take my Bile Thrall and move him up right here. And then he can purge, and he can be like, okay, all this stuff is dead. The only problem with that is that I forgot that as I was distributing focus, I forgot that Veil of Mist does not allow you to ignore free strikes. So I need to figure out a way to take care of that one Bane Thrall. And what I'm planning on doing is putting down Veil of Mist and then having my Bane Riders do ride-by attacks and take out those 2 guys, and then, get into a better position. However, what I didn't realize at the time is if I take out those 2 guys with Bane Riders, I don't need Veil of Mists. So, kind of outplayed myself, but oh well. And then also what I want to do before that, as I'm trying to think through this and I have activation, like activation orders going on, because I want to get my hag. I want to get my blood hag, who is right here. I want to get her like up in here so that, you know, she can be entropic force, and then I don't have to worry about tough. So that's kind of what's going through my mind. And he corroded my objective, so that's the objective's health. Kraken took a point, so the Coven took a point. I really need to take care of Backlash earlier. Backlash is so annoying. I'm just glad he wasn't running a Raider boat, because that would have been bad. 2 points of damage on my caster for every point on the Kraken is just stupid. Okay, so thinking what we just discussed, going through, trying to figure out order of activations, put 3 on the Kraken because why not? That's a whole bunch of points. Egoror is in melee range with the Knight, so even though the Knight's engaged and all that stuff, a Witch is just like Curse of Shadows, and it just worked out. So I didn't need to get anything fancy with my nodes that I was trying to figure out. The Egoror is just like, hey, you guys are at -2 armor and we can walk through you now. Is that all fine with you? And they're like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay, so Warwick Siren sprays. I think she takes off 2 Bane? Yeah, two Bane Knights and corrodes a 3rd. Then my Blood Witches just walk on through the Bane Knights. That's so fun to do. I was a little bit worried here because if I don't take off all the Bane Knights and I pop my mini feat, the Bane Knights just run through me and kill my caster. So I don't pop my mini feat right away because you can do it at any time during your activation, and I see how everything goes first. So I get all the Bane Knights except these 2. Well, these 2 are the ones that matter. This one I don't really, well, that one matters too. So those 3 are the ones that matter. I don't really care about this one because he's too far away from my caster. And then also this is the leader. That one's kind of out of command. It got stuck. But then what I didn't think about is he also has Tartarus, who can walk up, whip himself up some Bane Knights if I don't pop my mini feat and then kill my caster. So I pop my mini feat, Bane Knights run through, kill my caster. I don't pop my mini feat, Tartarus whips up some dudes and they kill my caster. So it's kind of like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what I do. I pop my mini feat. So there we go. Pop my mini feat. They're incorporeal. The Knights are pseudo-incorporeal because of Curse of Shadows. And the chicken aims like a boss and takes out that Bane Knight. Night Riches are just so much better than Death Rippers. I'm not even sure why anyone argues about it. They're just too good. So 1 problem Bane Knight down, 2 more to go. Here's the Veil of Mists. I'm trying to get away from them, so I'm kind of bunching up my caster. I know as I'm doing this, they're in a very bad spot. There's no kill box in this scenario, so I should be further back, but I just know they're in a bad spot. Okay, then the Bane Riders are going. They pick off the 2 Bane Thralls that were kind of problem, and it's about this point where I realize, oh, they're not blocking the way anymore. I didn't need a Veil of Mist. Okay. Bile Thrall walks up. He decides that he had a little bit too big of lunch, and so he's going to show the Bane Thralls exactly what he had for lunch. And some of the Bane Thralls decided they didn't really take too kindly to that, and almost all of them go and run away. So Bile Thralls, amazing, great unit. I love them. They're so much fun with the Witch Coven because you can protect them so easily. So yeah, that flank is looking a lot better after a single Bile Thrall. And then I do believe the Kraken, oh no, the other chicken goes up and takes off like another Bane Thrall. It's like, come on guys. It was just awesome. So here we go. I gotta back up because I gotta show you something. Okay, so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking I can kill those 2. I can get to these 2 guys with my Kraken because I can just walk up and I can start wailing on those. Nightmare is going to come get me, but he doesn't have his feet, and I'm thinking, Nightmare can't one-round a Colossal, so... I mean, the Colossal is his prey, but I'm thinking in my head he can't. So then I take off the Bane Knights, and then I'm in a good spot. However, Tartarus is right here. Problem. And then I'm looking, and it's like, can I really do that? Yes, I can. Gorman walks through the Blood Witch, through the Bane Knight, to come right here, which is more than enough inside the magical 4-inch area, or 4-inch range, in Bloun's Tartarus. It just felt so good. And now he can't whip up any dudes. He can't... Well, he could curse something, but it took out like a 4-point model. I mean, it took a problem 4-point model. So that's what happens. My opponent's like, why are you moving through your own dudes? It's like, I'm a corporal. Why are you throwing my dudes? Yeah, you're a pseudo-incorporal. And I was just like, the Witch Coven don't do much, but the Witch Coven lets your army go where they please. And that is pretty strong. So now the Egg Roar still has to go. Oh, no, never mind. The Kraken has to go. I think I'm getting cheeky with using a placeholder, but I don't need to do that because the Kraken just walks up. And he's like, come here, Bane Knights, you're mine. So he misses because that's the way my Kraken rolls. Takes out one Bane Knight, uses another attack, takes out that Bane Knight, buys and boosts on the chicken, hits the chicken, does some damage, doesn't take out the Arc Node, or maybe he does. I think he does. But then with the Egg Roar, I'm trying to think of what to do next. And so the Egg Roar just kind of moves up between the two witches there and gives them both stealth, because I know he's going to try something. So I give him stealth to try and protect him. However, that means that all of my, all of my generals, if you want to put it that way, is in this nice little line here. And I'm really happy that he does not have a lot of sprays, because that would suck. However, there is this one node here, but luckily that node is being engaged by my Bane Rider, which I did not mean to do. I just kind of stumbled upon it, but it worked out. So he does have AoEs, and he can get super close. At stealth doesn't matter. So as I'm looking at this as I pass a turn, I'm like, uh-oh, that could have been my last turn. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it's his turn. He gets 11 focus this turn, which makes the spell Assassination even more probable. And they're camping 1 because armor 12 is not enough, but armor 13 is okay. For the Witch Coven. Okay, so we got some corrosions to do. They do their thing. And then he's like, I have 11 focus. I don't know what to do. I'm going to allocate 3 to Nightmare and 3 to the Death Ripper. I think we're talking about his turn. So, yeah. 3 goes to... Oh, Vengeance. He misses the Warwitch Siren. Then 3 to Nightmare, 3 to the Death Ripper. They want to get some backlashes. Feedbacks, backlashes, something like that. They want to get some points on the Coven. Oh, yes. Birthday cake. It was my birthday recently, so I had a nice piece of American chocolate cake on a very American plate, and I was happy. So there we go. Nothing really much better than playing a game with the Coven and also eating chocolate cake. Just enough said there. Okay, so he hands out 3 focus to 1 Death Ripper, 3 focus to Nightmare, another focus to the other Death Ripper so he can run. He moves up, or he runs this Bane Thrall. It's the standard bear. He can't charge because of the wall to engage my Bane Rider. And then he charges in with the captain to try and free the Death Ripper, because then, he's not going to take free strike. So he charges in, and he one-shots my Bane Rider because Raider captains are stupid great. So I eat a piece of cake before, one last sweet thing of this game, because it's going downhill very rapidly. The Death Ripper moves over, starts chomping on my Kraken, and does a whole bunch of points to the Witch Coven. I think the Witch Coven took the most damage this game from Backlash. It was kind of silly. Okay, and then Nightmare walks on up and does a whole bunch of damage. He also engages my node just to be safe. And then he ends up taking out an entire side of my Kraken and puts a lot of damage on the witches through feedback. And then I do believe the next thing he does is run the node around. And he's trying to decide what to do with Tartarus. He's discovering he doesn't have Gorman, so he's discovering how awesome Black Oil is right now, except not in the way you would imagine. So we're talking about it, and he's trying to figure out what to do. And Ward Siren comes over, tries to spray, because he's still trying to think, and it's usually easy to do something simple while you're thinking. Oh no, this is why he sprayed. So there was one Bane Knight right here, and this guy was out of command, and he wanted to charge the Kraken. However, since he was out of command, he couldn't. So what he did is he moved the Warge Siren over and spray killed the one Bane Knight and got a Witch 2, which then made this guy the leader, who then charged my Kraken and did a boatload of damage to it, as well as another point to the Witch Coven because of frickin' Backlash. So then there's only one Bane Knight left. Tartarus isn't quite too sure what to do. It was pointed out after the game that he could have walked up and Dark Shrouded the Kraken. We calculated it out after the game. The Kraken still would have lived. But instead what he does with it is he sacks first. But instead what he does with it later in the turn is he walks over and forces 3 command checks. Okay. So the chicken runs. And the chicken avoids like everything because it's a chicken and that's what chickens do, and gets right up next to my caster. And I'm like, uh-oh. Luckily Skarre only has 4 focus. But that doesn't mean she's not going to Hellfire Egoror and do 7 points of damage, which means a witch lives, thankfully. Oh yeah, she does a whole bunch of damage to the node, but then Hellfire, there we go. Doesn't boost hit because she's a boss. Then she boosts damage on Hellfire and does like all but 1 damage to a witch. I guess I could have spread it out a little bit, but yeah. So that's now he's doing his command check. That's pretty much game. His spell Assassination failed, and usually when you go for an Assassination and you leave your caster dry next to a half-functioning Kraken under the power of 3 Witch Coven, it doesn't really tend to last much longer. So really what happens is 3 focus to the Kraken, Infernal Machine, and Veil of Mist and Ghost Walk, so the Kraken can just walk through the people that are blocking him, not care about free strikes, and then eat Skarre. So that's what's going to happen, except I kind of want to go from some style points, so some Bile Thralls are going to get in there and get jiggy with it. But really, I was thinking about this later. If usually when you're going for an assassination, it's kind of assassinations, if it's something that requires a lot of resources, usually signify the end of the game, because either you assassinate the opponent or you put yourself in such a bad position that the opponent just gets you, and it's like the end of the game no matter what. So what I was thinking he should have really done is he should have kept all his focus except the one to give to the one Death Ripper, who then would have ran around, and then he had 10 focus left, and he could have Blood Rain, boost one of them, and that's enough damage to kill the Coven. They were only armor 13, and if you corrode them, that's a big deal. So I think that would have been, thinking back on it, hindsight's always 20/20. That would have been even better. We are now just going through different options, but we did a couple different things. So if he thought later that it would have been a good idea to Blood Rain instead of, you know, Hellfire, and so we played out that scenario, and what would happen is he would have killed one witch. The witches would have given 2 focus to the Kraken, and the same thing would have happened. And then this is also, I had Biles and I had Bane Rider charge involved in there, and it's just, we're just kind of going over it. It's actually my objective is what would have allowed that to happen, because even though my objective didn't come in too much in the game, if I would have lost a witch, it still would have been useful, because they kind of keep their same function. Like, they're still able to cast Veil of Mist and everything like that. So, see, we're just going over it, really. But yeah, it was a really close game. I really liked the Coven. They were, I mean, I'm a big fan of playing the Coven up, but they were too scrunched up together for a caster that had arc nodes. If I had like 1 or 2 more guys engaged into that arc node, if I had been thinking, they would have been completely fine, and they would have not like cared at all about backlash, just because they have so many wounds you gotta chew through. And then next turn, the Blood Hag was just gonna drop backlash from the Kraken anyway. But because I made the poor choice of only engaging the node with 1 guy, I didn't recognize it as a threat, because it's pSkarre. pSkarre doesn't really spell Assassinate, except she does. So I should have focused more into getting that node, making sure both of the nodes were down. But I didn't, and it almost cost me the game. But it luckily it worked out in my favor that my opponent really wanted to kill the Kraken instead of my caster, which, hey, I'm fine with. And he almost did kill the Kraken, and he probably should have. He missed with an attack. You know, Nightmare Mat 10 isn't enough to hit the Kraken when you roll boxcars. But yeah, it was a interesting game. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any other suggestions that you want to see play, if you have a favorite caster, let me know. I like trying out wonky lists. I was trying out this one list I had for, it was Edeni Body and Soul Tier 4, that basically it was a way to get around P. Haley and Journeyman Warcasters, because you can put Marked for Death on the Journeyman Warcaster controlling Stormwall Galleon, and then if they move up, they die, and if they don't, Kraken just walks up, or if they walk up, Kraken walks up and blasts the Journeyman to Kingdom Come, and if they don't, then the Colossal doesn't have any focus. So I love trying out wonky lists. They're always the best. There's a lot of hidden gems out there I feel that the meta doesn't have. So if you have a burning request to see me play, just let me know. Maybe you can't get a game in that week, whatever. Maybe you need a second opinion on something. Just let me know. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day.